Low-key, this game might have one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Everyone knows Tofu music rocks, but I really feel like it coalesces well in this one game. It's good, since this is the game I've chosen to tie myself to for a very long time. That was actually funny, but no one could hear you. Yo, Will Barron, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. I'm still getting social media blast and stuff going, but hope they're doing well. Yo, Henri, welcome to the stream. Doing okay? Almost finished the Pokedex and Diamond Pearl remakes, but I literally just need a Spinda. Oh, man. Is there no, like, does the game not have, like, a built-in offer trade function? Because I know, like, last one I played, Sun Moon, you had an ability where you could put up a Pokemon for trade on, like, the trade internet, whatever, and you could tell what you wanted for it. Coding so you can't transfer any from previous games? Oh, that'll be a problem then. There goes my every Spinda ever collection. That's a lie. I don't have every Spinda ever. That would be impossible. There is on the app, but not the game. Got it. Migration to Switch is very disappointing. It's unfortunate. They moved GTS to mobile, and I wish they were wondering. They didn't. Wondering if Switch Online is partially why. Ah! Yep. Oh, hey, it's noon. Let's get the show on the road. Go. Lovely music room. Alright. Alright. So. Right now, our goal is to work on getting runs as deep as possible without using... bombs. Continues. Okay. Hey, Vivian, I know you're right here next to me and you're not on the microphone, but while you're here, I'd like to introduce a potential improvement to you. Oh, shit! Fuck. Ah, I missed the red, but whatever. So, we all know... Oh, wait, no, I just realized that that thing I wanted to talk about was a spoiler. Never mind. I was going to make an Umineko joke, and then I realized it was kind of too much of a spoiler for me to talk about on a stream that is unrelated to that game. And I'm like, okay, well, tell you later, yeah. I'm not out here to fucking spoil that game on an unrelated stream. Let's Toho those checks notes witch girls. So no. They're mostly yokai. Like, Rumia here is a yokai. She's not a witch girl. And we're like a shrine maiden. That's what we do. Or a shrine maiden who can't seem to get paid. Oh, Nighttime Birds. My favorite album by The Gathering. It's a lie. My favorite album by The Gathering is probably Mandillion, but... Get baited. Alright, here we go. Got him. Ah, that makes sense now, lol. Yeah. Yeah, because Cherno here, the boss for this stage, is the fairy. I think most of the like magical, most of the enemies in Toho are like magical in some way. Except for Sake Azawe. She's literally just a human. I think maybe her pocket watch is cursed. But, like, she's just a normal-ass human. That was a little slow Diose kill, but whatever. It's weird. I can tell how whether or not things are fast or slow based on where they fall in the music. I'm like, oh, I expected you to die a couple of beats sooner than that, and you didn't, so that must have been slow. Ah, just shy of max power before Cherno. Actually, that's probably optimal, because that means we don't have to do the hardest difficulty Cherno fight. Alright, here it is. Can we do it? No! The answer is no, I cannot. All that big talk and bluster, and I couldn't perform when it mattered. There we go. Still, practice. It's good. You know what? This is the warm-up run for today. We're not worrying about it. Alright, let's just see how deep we get with this. I think part of the problem I'm noticing is purely mechanical in nature. So, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about that at all. I don't want to talk about any of that. That was awful. Why is this on the... Oh, because I never save scores, right? Do I want to save this replay? No, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you, game. I don't think I need to save that one. Yeah, part of the problem I'm noticing is mechanical. I talked a lot about like the bomb thing, where you can save yourself with a bomb if you're within so long of you getting hit, right? The problem is, in order to do that, I have to keep my finger basically on top of the bomb button at all times, which is not a comfortable position to be in for a 40-minute long session of a single run, right? So one of the things I'm looking at as I try to move on towards doing full game clears now is finding some other way, like getting a foot pedal or something that I can use to input for bombs and stuff. Just so I'm not keeping my... what is it, pointer finger hunched over the key on one side of the keyboard, like this. Although I wonder if the foot reaction time will actually work for that. I think the benefit is like it's a lot more comfortable to keep your foot kind of like on the pedal of a thing. But also I don't know if that kind of input will have a quick enough reaction time. Alright, T-posing lady. Let's do this. Alright. Back in the saddle. This is the first real run of the day. We're not talking about what happened before. Slowly getting to max power. Say. There we go. That's about when Diose should That's about when the Diocese fight should end, judging by the music. At least when I expect it to. Oh, hey, full power. Yeet. That didn't take long. Okay, I don't go up there at that point to get those. Cool. No. Oh! Ah! Alright. Well, I still have the right idea. Even if the execution is lacking at the moment. You know what? This is good. This is good. We've got a new strategy, and I need to be able to implement it, right? No one can hear you, Vivian. It's funny. Yes, I know I'm having trouble with the strongest boss. I can't be mad at her. So this is good. This means that, like, the optimization makes it easier, but still requires some practice. That's fine. Nope. No. I'm good. Interesting, I think we're doing worse than we were last time, but... whatever, we have good days, we have bad times. Good times, bad times. Wise men once said, you know I've had my share. Right. Not bad. Okay, stay in my lane. Got it. Oh, that's not a... well, it was worth it to grab the power-up, but still, that's a little bit suboptimal for this fight. Means we're going to be stuck in this phase a little bit longer than we want to be. There we go. There we go. Alright, just over halfway to max power already. That's about right with where we've been getting. swear, hearing the same couple of songs over and over in this game makes me realize just how much the music makes this possible. Like, if this music sucked, or if this music wasn't fun to listen to over and over again, I could not do this. P. Got the biggest P. Whoa, systems. There we go. It's got good tunes. Not just good tunes, it's got tunes you can hear over and over again and not get tired of. And that is vital. There we go. That's how we do that. Well, this is not optimal position to be in for... Still kind of suboptimal here. Am I really going to time out on this segment rather than... Wow. That underscores the importance of being able to dodge while being directly in front of them, because you cannot just chill them with chip damage. You'll just wind up timing out, and that takes way longer. More time spent means more risk dodging. Not good. All right. Stage 3! Let's go! First life. All right. Time for melee. Nice. Yep, 4 lives. This is about what we expect at this point. Fucking popcorn enemies. I like these ones, though. You can just kind of stand right here. Got him. Right. That's bait. Okay. Ideally, we don't want to use a bomb there, but rather use a bomb than get hit. It's fine. Okay. Not ideal. Because we still had 3 bombs left on that life, but we take it off the chin, we move on. I missed that. Well, that sucked. It's my own fault for backing myself into a corner. Out of there. Alright. Podge's friend, who I can never remember the name of. Koakuma? Something bear? Oh, okay. She's a little little devil like Akuma. Okay, yeah. I'm impatient here. No! Shit. Okay. Nope. This is not my best stage 4 right here. Okay, let's see what we do on Pacha. No. All right. Okay, that was my own fault. Fuck your lasers. Lazy... what is a trillathon? Lazy trillathon high level. There we go. At least it saved us self that time. Thank you, Viv. No one can hear, but that's fine. She explained it to me, and that's what matters to me. Now, ever since I started replaying this game, I don't think we've done much derusting on stages 5 and 6, so I'm still probably going to wind up scrubbing out pretty early on Sakuya's stage. But that's fine. We got to practice, but we got to get practice again to get back to where we once were in terms of skill. Oh, that's cute. Vivian says when you the trillathon is when you take 2 big rocks and put another big rock on. Which is essentially correct. Which is the best kind of correct. No. Oh, Raymond and her big fuck off multicolor bombs. Sakuya, not while there's still bombs on the screen, please. Okay. This attack is going to be another one that's going to take some time to... Oh, see. This particular attack of Sakuya's is one that I generally have trouble dodging. Yeah. See, because there's not a lot of space to work with between her, Oh shit, forgot. There's a way of dealing with this. You stay still and then you move slightly during this part. Stay still. Well, I'm glad we got that extra life, huh? I should look up what point values we get extra lives in this game, because it'll help for, shit. Now I'm just wasting bombs. It's fine. There's a waste of lives, I suppose, is right. Why is Biken on the right? Because her artwork came that way. And I didn't want to flip her. So she's on the right-hand side, and that's where Chad is. Alright, this is my first time doing this fight since we last played this game consistently, which was a couple months ago. So I'm going to have to relearn these patterns and stuff. Alright, okay, so the trick here is let her do this. Move gently off to the side. Yep. Stay in one place. Move gently off to the side. There we go. God, this track is so good. Saki, oh shit. Ah. You know what? Let's continue just for so we can practice the later levels. Saki, who needs friends when you have knives as Aioi? Unfortunate. It's another one of the things that just, like, if I had my reaction time down for bombing, it probably wouldn't have been a big a deal. Oh, I was through that. Oh well. EOSD's OST is so good. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Like, everyone knows Toho music rocks, right? This game puts it together so well. Stage 6 wasn't that long, if I remember correctly. Stage 6 itself isn't long. Most of it is just the fight against Remelia. Never flip the art is what the artisans say. Exactly. Alright, time to remember what literally any of my strats were for this stage. These came down to being down here. Yep, if you go to the corner, that's not too bad to dodge. I love Sakia's perturbed face in this, like, where she's like, I'm sorry. Fuck. She's made me waste a bomb. She accomplished what she wanted to do. During her pre-boss banter, she'll be like, oh, Remelia won't forgive me unless I at least make you waste a bomb on this fight. And I'm like, well. You get one back for it, which is kind of nice, but still, it's really funny that she's just there to make you waste the bomb. Music transferred to Windows, the new computer helped solidify EOSD as the impact on Toho and its fandom. Yeah, because this is the first game off of the PC98. We've played all of the PC98 Tohos on the channel at this point, which is kind of cool. Well, we didn't do all of them together, Vivian. I streamed 2 of them to myself, and then we played 3 of them on a potpourri. All right. Time to just reminder that I haven't done this fight in several months, so I'm gonna be a little rusty. Not ideal, but let's get some practice in. Got him. Oh, right. The fucking... Okay, so this one, she either goes right at you or she does like a sweeping shotgun pattern. This attack, I need to find some way to be able to dodge, because that pattern's pretty consistent. I think if I could find some way to dodge that consistently, it'll save me the bomb. Once just get in your lane and stay in it. Oh, this attack's fucking weird. There. See, that was a proper bomb save right there. God, that attack. The attack's not as hard to dodge as it looks, but it's very intimidating in the moment. No! Right, this is the one where we can't bomb her anymore, so we literally have to last this one out until we kill her. And there's no timer either. This is just the final phase. We should only use bombs if it's going to save us from dying. Right there, that saves us from dying. Clear out some of this stuff. Alright, that's fine. This part is really just an endurance test because it just goes on for so long. There it is. Hey, that's only my second time beating this game, and we did it with one less continue than we did when we beat it last time. The first time I beat it, I needed every single one of the continues, and this one I believe I used. No, I still used my final continue at the very, very end there. Okay, but still. Anti-bomb measures in a boss fight, my beloved. Exactly. Really have some really weird or threatening attacks, and then there's also just that one basically freebie as a treat, right? She did it. She makes me waste a bomb every time. Yeah. Alright. One thing that feels kind of nice is that even if I'm not on what I consider to be a strong run, I can still just clear this game now. That's just a thing I can do. I can be like, oh, this run kind of sucks, and then I can continue on and I finish the game. And that is not something I could have done a while ago. Oh, conveniently, there's no way to skip the credits on this. But look at that font. Look at that. Can we just appreciate the font choice Zune has here? Only goes anti-bomb in the last phase is some peak final boss cockiness, right? And the game, in any case, does ease the nerves on future runs. Exactly, exactly, exactly. Vivian, is this a professional use font that we're seeing right here? She says absolutely. This is like the credits of a Neil Breen film where it's just one name over and over. Jokerman font. Jokerman is peak 90s, early aughts Windows right there. Peak turn of the millennium Windows. Her turning into a bat, the most basic vampire thing, and she just doesn't bother for most of the fight. True. She's got those periods when she's throwing out, like, every other boss's attacks at you, where she'll turn into a bat when she's doing it, and then you can't hit her. I know, the Sister of Scarlet stage. We'll get there. I gotta say, it really does feel like it's possible for me to do this now. I feel like with a couple more, with maybe like a few weeks of practice at this, we can get the no continue clear. For now, let's do one more run, at least as deep as it goes, and then we'll call it a day and go over to Shibuya. Time to bully Rumia. And she's off. Okay. Oh, I missed it. Oh, well, whatever. We're at a high enough stage that this fight should be fine. Rumia tries to T-pose to assert dominance because that's what she heard humans do. Oh, well. That was a poor... You can bait her into attacking off to the side in that, and then move underneath her to get a bunch of attacks in, which is what you want to do. But picking up the power was more important there. Oh, wow! I died on Rumia. Rip. Alright. Well, that's fine. This is just the last run of the day. Whatever. Let me just keep it going. Because it's more about getting practice and consistency with all the bits of it down. Maybe I need a reminder now and then not to fuck around on Rumia, even if it is just Rumia. Yeah, I got hit on Rumia, Vivian. I was, No, I wasn't fucking around. I just got caught part of the pattern I wasn't expecting to, and paid for it dearly. Toho with Mortal Kombat style fatalities. Vivian, you have so many good ideas. I wish they had invented microphones for 2 people. I keep forgetting at some point I just have to like get a mic and clip it to your lapel whenever I'm streaming. That way, whenever you say something to me off microphone, I could just people could be like, oh, that's what she said. And that way, half the VOD isn't just me talking to myself in thin air. See, that was a good save right there. It's not good that I got hit during Cherno, but it's good that I saved. Oh, okay. So I think what I'm doing is I'm staying too late in the lane there when I need to just kind of get out, you know? There we go. This is good. Even like small optimizations during the early stuff that I take for granted are good. Don't take these fights for granted. It will fuck you up. Remember to stand in front of Cherno during this attack. At some point I should look up what the point values are for getting an extra life in EOSD. I know 10 is, and I think 20 is. I think there's a... Oh, fuck. I gotta stop talking to myself. I think there's another one at 60? But I could be wrong about that. $10, $20, $40, and $60? Thank you, Viv. That's more than I thought. And also melee. I believe there's one other extra life drop, but I don't remember where it is. Oh, why did I hang out in the center during that attack? The wrong spot to be in, Eskay. It's like the one place you don't want to be. Always better to be off to the side during these attacks. The death bomb interval isn't constant? What? What do you mean? I didn't realize. Okay, so Vivian's telling me that after you use the death bomb frames, it gets shortened by a frame each time. Okay, well, it starts out as 6 frames, right? Okay, cool. So it does punish you for using it constantly, but it's still important because that 6-frame window is definitely doable. Yeah, exactly. Hoarding all your bombs to do that is not desirable. You do want to just pre-bomb if you know you're about to die. That's still the better way to do it. Shit. Sometime I should play this game with an eye tracker. I think it'd be weirdly enlightening. One problem is that setting it up would not be easy because, unlike other games, this changes the screen resolution when it runs. Make it hard to... They call you a Toho, it's because you sell feet pics. What? Got about like 20 seconds to explain that comment. Oh, never mind, I get it. Oh, Toho. Jesus. Oh. Okay. Shit. Streamer is slow on the cupcake, it turns out. Sorry, Mita. You came in and that was the first thing you said, and I'm like, wait, hold on. Am I getting creeped on now for some reason? And no, it's just a bad pun. Okay. Sorry, I get you now. Kuma. And she's gone. She gives a bomb. Alright, so it's Sakuya in stage 5 that gives you another extra life. Okay. Oh no! I thought I was in between the things. I was not in between the things. Turns out. Ah well. Oh shit, you want to start on one of the sides for these. Not great, but we'll take it. All right. Fire. Got him. Oh. Oh. Intended. Lol, just stopping fearlessly exactly right where the laser ends and be like, yeah, I fucking dare you to hit me. Oh no! Oh, I didn't think I was gonna get hit there. That's fine. Let's just continue on. Not ideal, but you know what? We take them. Got him. All right. Right, I forgot. There's just, you gotta just stay in the middle for that. What? Oh, I must have gotten hit by something there. I didn't see. I thought I was in. You know what? I'm guessing this ain't the run, huh? That's fine. We'll get in some practice on Sakuya. Strats. This attack right here, feeling that, like, I need to... Wow, okay, that's the best I've ever done on that attack. Shit, I forgot. Stay still and then move. Stay still and then move. I gotta stop freaking out on that. And then I just died. Cool. Get me out of here. I need to be done with this. Oh, how quickly it all falls apart in this game. Lol. Okay, stand back. Slowly off to one side. No! Oh! Shit. Oh. This track is so good. Like, this one has grown on me the longer I've listened to it. Also, I've decided that I'm just going to start running into knives now. That's my new strat to get through this fight. Knives. Sure. Let's just get some practice in on Romelia too. That's fine. Okay. I don't think that one hit me, but that's whatever. Stab enough results in ending the fight. That's the goal. I don't see the issue here. Fair enough. Oh, the wild difference between a good run and a not good run. Okay, for these ones you want to hang back. Be patient. Okay, yeah. Corner is the easiest place to dodge that. So many fucking knives, Sakuya. Well, that was awful. Alright, let's see how far we can get on Romelia with no more lives, no continues, and just bombs. Gumption. No! I forgot about that. I'm just sitting there waiting like, oh, what's her next attack gonna be? Not realizing that, oh, this is the one that she'll just fucking shoot me in the face. Alright, let's call it there for the day. On Toho. Let's move over to Shibuya. We're not going to go super late. We're not going to go super long on Shibuya today because Vivian and I have plans this afternoon, and I need some time before those happen. So we'll probably go for 2 hours on this. See how far we get. All right. Right, so we finally made it now to 1 o'clock. All right, so we haven't done anything here yet, right? Whose story do we want to start with? Minorikawa's going around interviewing folks. Kano was tailing the suspect. Achi was with the kidnapped girl's sister. Tama is fucking stuck in a fursuit. And Osawa... Oh, you know what? Let's do more of Osawa. Because I feel like Osawa's route just came out of fucking nowhere. And I gotta know what the hell is up with him. I gotta know how the fucking Uwa virus ties into all this. Alright. The rain won't let up. No matter how much time passes, it just won't stop. Ever since that day, the sound of raindrops has been burned into my mind. Such an awful, heart-rending sound, driving me to strip my life down to shadows. And yet, no matter what else I abandon, nothing will make the sound of the rain stop. Osawa stared at a postcard that was nestled into the final page of the photo album. He'd purchased it 2 years earlier while on a trip with Maria to the Middle East. It'd be funny if the Uwa virus never came up again, right? He'd mentioned that he was being sent there on business, and Maria had just blurted out, "I want to go with you." She'd recently developed an interest in the Middle East conflict, and apparently she had been yearning to see the area firsthand. The Middle East, originally used to indicate Iran, Afghanistan, and the region surrounding them. In modern times, the term refers to part of southwestern Asia, excluding India and Afghanistan, and the section of northeastern Africa along the Mediterranean coast. However, in Japan, as well as the U.S., the term Middle East is often understood to refer specifically to those parts of the region with a strong Islamic influence. The Middle East conflict, the ongoing friction in the Palestine region between the Jewish people who founded the nation of Israel and the Arabs who had been living there previously. The religious and historical context of this cultural clash is well beyond the scope of what can be elucidated here. You know what? Fair. I feel like maybe a tip in the middle of a sound novel is not the place to explain the entirety of the Israeli-Palestine conflict. His daughter's newfound curiosity had taken him aback. She had always tended to be quiet and self-contained. The clumsy conversations aboard the airplane, the meals eaten together in awkward silence, it all felt like such a distant memory to Osawa now. "Ma'am, I'm afraid I can't let you do that." He heard Kajawara's voice outside the... I don't remember what voice I gave anyone. Outside the door. "Why ever not? I'm just going out for a bit." The detective was arguing with I. Great. And just who was it who told me I should try to go about my life as normal, huh? Osawa's wife sneered. "Ma'am, please, How would you feel about being told to just sit around and wait?" Ai's angry shriek jerked Osawa to his feet. He hurried from the study to try to calm her down. Ma'am, please wait. But by the time Osawa had made his way downstairs, his wife had already stormed outside, despite Kajawara's attempts to stop her. Osawa doubted anything he could have said would have stopped Ai from leaving. Trying to physically keep her from going out would only have made for an even worse uproar. He was glad at least that it hadn't come back to that. He was turning to head back into the study when Kajawara caught his eye. Resigned, he headed down the stairs and bowed to the detective. Oh, that's a good shot. I like that. Any idea where she's going? Kajawara asked. I mean, at a time like this? Osawa shook his head. I wouldn't know. I didn't think so. You know, your wife really is something else. Osawa arched an eyebrow. That's one way to describe her. A rather rude way, as a matter of fact. Oh, no offense intended. It's just that ever since this case started, you've both been holed up in your own respective rooms. The more Kajawara spoke, the more irritated Osawa became. What is your point? He demanded. It's just, I mean, you haven't been having any, marital discourse. According to one survey, in roughly 6% of households, discourse between spouses is largely non-existent. Various reasons for this were offered by the couples in question. Many claimed that they were too tired to have the energy to talk, or stated we wind up fighting when we talk, or we have nothing to talk about. Oof. Mind your own business, Osawa snapped. Kajawara dipped his head deferentially. The two of us not talking isn't a new thing anyhow, Osawa added. I have a policy of not having pointless conversations. Like this one. Burn. It's quite common for Kenji Osawa to make it through an entire day without having a single conversation. On many days he opens his mouth only to eat or brush his teeth. His current record is a streak of 14 consecutive days during which he didn't talk to anyone. Kajawara in the "this is fine" pose? Yeah. Huh. It didn't look as though Kajawara quite understood. Microorganisms such as viruses don't have conversations, and yet they still continually propagate in order to survive. Thinking about viruses, Osawa was back in familiar territory. He felt a surge of confidence. Once you have a clear purpose, conversation is unnecessary. And do you have a clear purpose for the relationship with your wife, Mr. Osawa? Of course I do. To be a family. Huh. Arms crossed, Kajawara struck a thoughtful pose. At least I've learned one useful thing today, Mr. Osawa. Namely, that you don't like to have pointless conversations. It's a good thing to know. Kajawara uncrossed his arms for a moment, then crossed them right back again, furrowing his brow. But see, that's funny. You seem to have a tendency to have pointless conversations with me, and... Because you keep coming to talk to me. Osawa saw red. You don't leave me much of a choice. Kajawara shut up challenge. Tanaka poked his head out of the living room. Is something the matter? He asked. No. Osawa struggled to regain his calm. Perfect timing, actually. There's something I need to talk to you about. He turned back to Kajawara. My apologies, detective, but would you mind giving us some privacy? Kajawara didn't move. Detective? Osawa gave the policeman a hard look and saw him crack a smile. Yes? What is it? Kajawara said at last. Don't you play dumb with me. Give us some privacy. Is this a discussion I shouldn't overhear? Actually, yes. It's work-related. They are business matters I prefer to keep confidential. Ah, I see. Reluctantly getting to his feet, Kajawara slipped away into the living room. Man, Kajawara is really kind of a little shit when he wants to be, isn't he? Tanaka, Osawa began. About those emails. He stopped abruptly. Kajawara had reappeared in the living room door, staring right at them. What are you doing? Osawa demanded. Oh, should I not be watching? Osawa felt like he was about to burst a blood vessel. I mean, you never told me that I couldn't watch. Because it should be obvious. The detective made a scolded puppy face, then closed the living room door. Osawa let out a heavy sigh. He had never been an extrovert, but he didn't quite recall human interaction being like this. Anyway, sir, Tanaka prompted, you were saying? Yeah, about those emails. Something doesn't make sense. I don't understand how Mr. Makino was able to get the antiviral agent to anyone on the outside. Sharing an Akoshi Pharmaceuticals drug with external sources while it was still under development required the approval of an executive committee that included Osawa himself. There should have been no way the antiviral could be sent out without his knowledge. Tanaka hesitated a few moments before responding. Are you aware of the strife between the company president and the chairman? Osawa shook his head. He was a researcher through and through. Factional rivalries held no interest for him whatsoever. Makino effectively leads the chairman's team, and the antiviral agent is their pet project. Despite being the executive officer in charge of the project, however, Makino still needs the president's approval to... You know what? Forget about that right now. What do we do about security? In theory, it was physically impossible to get the antiviral out of the lab without detection. Entry to the biohazard laboratory where it was kept required fingerprint authentication from both Osawa and Tanaka. Fingerprint authentication. Technology that allows an individual's identity to be verified by scanning the fingerprints. It is one element of biometrics, the measurement of physical characteristics to identify individuals. There are even devices that can identify people by checking the veins in the palms of their hands or the irises of their eyes. Wow! Let's look at this video. Thank you. That was very elucidating. Thank you, video game. Without the two of them there, nobody could even get into the storage facility. Because a dangerous virus is also stored there, the lab where the antiviral is kept is protected by an ID checkpoint, as well as a sophisticated 3-tiered lock system that requires fingerprint authentication. Multiple security guards are also posted outside the laboratory entrance 24 hours a day, making it all but impossible for an unauthorized person to get into the secured storage area. Tanaka followed his drift. Yeah, I see what you mean. Inclined his head in thought as Osawa continued. Okay. It was very important that we have that video, I'm sure. Yeah, it was. Could someone have overwritten the fingerprint authentication? Let's check the entry logs. We'll just have to ask Makino in person. Let's check the entry logs. Whether or not the fingerprint program was overwritten, checking the entry logs is definitely a good first step. Let's check the entry logs for the storage section. Anyone who wanted to get inside had to present their ID card to the security guard on duty. It should be possible to check the computer logs to see if there had been any suspicious activity in the system. Tanaka shook his head. I already checked the logs, sir. There was no evidence of anything suspicious. You're welcome to check for yourself, though, if you're that worried. No, I believe you. Yet the fact that the antiviral had been used for clinical testing. Either Makino had taken it from the laboratory personally, or someone working on his orders had done so. But how? Was there really some way they could have bypassed lab security without anyone else knowing? Osawa couldn't think how it would be possible. The living room door opened with a soft creak. It was Kajiwara, and he looked stiff and pale. Something terrible has happened, he said. Visions of tragedy flooded Osawa's mind. Maria, is she? Kajiwara shook his head. No, it's not that. What is it then? Osawa asked, his voice trembling. Sir, I need you to stay calm. Osawa swallowed the lump in his throat. You see, the toilet's clogged. How has he not throttled this detective yet? Plunger in hand, Osawa stabbed vigorously at the recalcitrant toilet bowl, struggling to loosen the unseen blockage. A plunger is a cleaning slash utility implement consisting of a soft, hemispherical rubber suction cup attached to the end of a dowel. By pressing the cup over the opening of a drain that has been clogged, one can apply suction pressure to jostle the blockage free. It makes a variety of sounds when used, such as a glub, glork, schluck, schlorp, schloop, and pop. Thank you, game. Karjawara was at his side, wiping up the floor with a rag. How did this even happen? The detective groaned. You kidding? I was hoping you could tell me that. The plunger sucked and schlorped at the porcelain basin. This was a first for Osawa. He'd never tried to unclog a toilet before in his life. Think of it as a blessing in disguise, Mr. Osawa. What the hell are you talking about? What about this constitutes a blessing? Just meant that at least this happened before you needed to do your business. Not the slightest hint of guile on his face, Kajawar picked up his bucket and headed for the sink back in the washing area. Grumbling to himself, Osawa pumped the plunger over and over again. This was almost funny. Almost ridiculous, in fact. His daughter had been kidnapped, and he was stuck unclogging a toilet. He was quite possibly caught up in a major corporate conspiracy, and here he was, unclogging a toilet. Tanaka poked his head into the bathroom. Did you fix it yet? If you need to urinate, then use the restroom on the second floor. That's all right. Here's fine. Tanaka stepped in beside him and abruptly shut the bathroom door. Now the two men were crammed together in the narrow lavatory. Hey, Osawa hissed. What the hell are you doing? Tanaka made eye contact with Osawa via the mirror. He spoke in a hushed voice. I've been waiting. For a moment, I could get you alone. What? Tanaka sidled around to face him, giving him an intense stare. Sir, could you please be quiet for a moment? Tanaka had tears in the corners of his eyes, so only take a moment. Osawa could feel the warm breath of his deputy whispering against his cheek. Tanaka reached for something inside his coat. What has he brought us in here for? Let's see what he's got us in here for. All right, do as you wish. Osawa closed his eyes. You sure you're ready for this? I'm not sure. This is all happening pretty fast. To be honest, I'm ready. Oh, this is where we're going with this? Is it? Wow, okay. Yes, sir. I understand, sir. I mean, now that I think of it, we do spend day in and day out in that lab together. Suppose this was bound to happen sooner or later. Sir, could you please open your eyes? I'd like you to look at this. You have to forgive me. This is all a bit sudden. Please, sir, take a look. Can't. It's just the two of us. It's probably going to shock you, I know, but please, just look. Is it really that shocking? Oh, yes, very. Now, please, open your eyes. Okay. No, I can't. Sir, trust me. This isn't easy for me either. All right. Bracing himself, Osawa opened his eyes, and Tanaka thrust out his cell phone. Here, take a look at this. Huh? Osawa blinked, bewildered, then refocused on the phone. He could have never anticipated what he saw on the LCD screen. Got him. Thanks, game. Real classy. Classy. Keep out, huh? Okay. So, we won't get to learn what happens there for a little bit longer. Let's see. Let's see what's up with Minorikawa. Minorikawa stood on the sidewalk weighing his options. Chiaki's phone call had thrown him for a loop. He had expected her to be anxious about doing interviews, but wow, she was a real basket case. Still, that didn't change the fact that he had a schedule of his own to keep. The surveillance camera story had to be his top priority. Chiaki would just have to find some way to fumble through things on her end. He headed down on Dogenzaka, scanning his surroundings as he went. There were cameras set up on streetlights all over the place. There were so many it was hard to believe he'd never noticed them before. One over there, another just over here. Electronic eyes peering down on passerby from high above, where they were tougher to spot. Just how were the people who came to Shibuya reacting to this situation? "Hey, you there!" Minorikawa called out to a man riding by on a bicycle. "Hey, you, stop!" The man brought his bike to a sudden stop. Taisei Yasuda, proprietor of a knick-knack shop in Udagawacho. There we go. Roughly 30 minutes earlier, while he was wandering around the JR tracks picking up lost and abandoned items, Achi foisted off his trash onto him, and so he's in a bit of a foul mood. Since then, he's been going along on his bicycle, still picking up things from the roadside. There's a trunk on the back of his bike where he stores his finds. "Huh? What's the matter?" he asked. "Hi, the name's Minoru Minorikawa. I'm a freelance writer." "Okay. Just doing interviews for a magazine. I'd like to talk to you." "A magazine? Which one?" "4-Star General Gossip." Minorikawa did his best to sound proud. "Oh, well, I'm actually in a bit of a hurry here." Minorikawa soldered on. "See that?" Pointed at one of the nearby surveillance cameras. "What?" the man asked. "The blimp?" A massive blimp was indeed drifting slowly overhead. Right, there's a fucking blimp in the opening credits that we just kind of glossed over. Blimp, a type of aircraft that floats using the lift provided by an enormous envelope filled with lighter-than-air gas. This envelope, the balloon, is often used for corporate advertising. This particular blimp has been puttering about the skies above Shibuya since last night. Oh, it's got Ayakamiki on it. Cool. No, the camera! The camera watched them both in uncaring silence. "Oh, that. What about it?" "What do you mean, what about it?" "Those cameras have been installed all throughout Shibuya. They're taking in anything and everything. Privacy be damned." A shocked pallor came to the man's face. "Oh, really?" So this dude, we think, is probably involved in what's going on there, because he was definitely rooting around for what looked like a briefcase or something. And now he's worried about being caught on camera. He muttered uneasily to himself. "I guess I should be careful next time I go picking stuff up." "Hey, what are you talking about?" Minorikawa asked. "Nothing, just stuff." Way to dodge the question entirely. "Anyway, I think there's some good things about the cameras, too," the man said hurriedly. "Oh?" Minorikawa asked. "Such as?" "Well, I mean, they must have helped catch some crooks, right?" "Yeah, I think you're right about that." "Oh, I am?" The man looked shocked to have his own statement confirmed. "Are you hiding something from me?" "No, nothing in particular." The man shook his head vehemently. "Nothing at all, really." "Well, whatever," Minorikawa said. "In any case, even if the cameras are helping in arresting criminals, there are some places where people just don't want to be watched." "Huh?" "For instance, how would you like it if someone set up a security camera inside your home?" "What? What do you mean?" "I mean, a burglar might try to get into your home. If you had a security camera, you could be alerted right away." "Isn't that kind of an extreme argument?" "Nope. You're the one making the extreme argument here." "What?" The man stared, bewildered. "You're saying it's okay for folks to film people around town as much as they might like, but not to take a look inside people's houses." "Yeah, I guess I am," the man mumbled. Minorikawa snorted. "You don't think too deeply about things, do you?" he mocked. The man huffed in indignation. "I don't see the problem," he said. "I mean, it's a normal enough opinion to want to bring down crime, but also to protect privacy." "Well, yeah, so?" "So if they're just going to set up cameras around town, I'm okay with that." Minorikawa grinned inwardly. "You're being naive," he said. "Way too naive." "Naive about what?" By now the man was getting worked up. "Once you start letting people watch you some of the time, you'll eventually let them do it more and more. That's how the world works." A simple change in camera angle is all it'll take to steal the last traces of your privacy away. That's kind of funny coming from you. Doesn't 4-star general gossip get all of its scuttlebutt by invading the privacy of others? Since when are you people concerned with personal privacy? Meaning what exactly? Minorikawa asked. You know damn well what I mean. Have you no shame? I've got nothing to be ashamed about, Minorikawa exclaimed. If some celebrity scandal breaks, I write it up in the form of a top-class, socially conscious expose. That's the Minorikawa seal of quality. The man rolled his eyes. Please, as if anyone's ever heard of that. Your everyday freelance reporter would say something about how security firms have no right to use cameras to disrupt personal privacy. But not me. Oh, no. I'm the only guy who'd write a first-class piece on the subject. And you want to know why? The man's only response was a doubtful look. Because privacy only exists for me to utterly demolish it. Minorikawa finished with a prideful grin. That's nothing but journalistic arrogance, the man railed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, I'd rather have surveillance cameras any day if the alternative is some weird gossip piece. This time, Minorikawa didn't have a handy retort. An awkward silence descended over the pair. Right, I see. Minorikawa muttered to himself as he busily scribbled in his notepad. The man was visibly taken aback. Thank you for your cooperation, Minorikawa said at last. You gave me some good stuff. He held up a hand to forestall an angry retort. I realize I probably got you a bit riled up. You'll have to forgive me. Huh? The man peered up at Minorikawa in disbelief. This is just my interview style. I know it's a little unorthodox. Buddy, you're a weirdo. You know that? The man said. Yeah, I hear that a lot, Minorikawa laughed. So can I go now? Sure. I'll quote you as Passerby A, in my article. Sure, whatever, the man muttered. He quickly sped off on his bicycle. Minorikawa now had some material for his surveillance camera piece. He wanted to organize what he had managed to put together so far. He decided to head toward his next interview location, keeping an eye out for a cafe where he could stop to work on his copy. He used the map included in the project proposal to guide him. It was hard to read the words and make out the details, but it looked like the Nokane building, where the Burning Hammer demo was being held, was just down the center guy. There was no indication of which floor the event would be held on, however. That made him a little anxious, but he'd probably be able to find someone to point him in the right direction once he got to the building. He spotted a cafe up ahead. Minorikawa, the big brain debate legend, right? Coffee, please, he shouted as he strolled inside. He slumped down in an open chair. Hopefully he'd been able to hole up in here until 1 o'clock working on his article. If he couldn't have it done by then, finishing the whole issue by the end of the day would be a tall order. Pulled a cigarette from his overcoat as he waited for his computer to boot up. Having a smoke was Minorikawa's little trigger for going into writing mode. He stuck up the cigarette in his mouth and lit it up. Writing mode, the state of being in a mood to write some text. As Minorikawa goes about his job, he switches between writing mode, interview mode, food mode, and sleep mode. When busy, he'll sometimes go into writing mode and food mode at the same time, sometimes even straying into sleep mode in the midst of food mode. When he's even busier, he'll eat and write mid-interview while nodding off. This is known as ultimate mode. I don't think that's I think that's just being tired. Maybe take a nap, my dude. With the first heavy draw of smoke, he felt his mind focus. The rough idea for his article came into his head nearly fully formed. All he needed to do now was get written down. Finally, his laptop finished booting up. Took you long enough, pal, he muttered to the computer. His hands leapt to the keyboard like a predator pouncing on its prey. In a matter of moments, he had hit his stride. His fingers clicked away. One by one, lines of text filled up the screen. Gatans, a waitress stepped up beside him. Excuse me, sir. But Minorikawa was in writing mode. He didn't even hear her. Sir? Sir, I beg your pardon. Again, Minorikawa was deaf to the waitress' attempts to get his attention. Sir, excuse me! The waitress smacked the table. Quiet! Minorikawa snapped. He slammed the table right back. Don't interrupt me while I'm working. Not if you know what's good for you. The waitress didn't so much as flinch. She leaned in aggressively, getting right in Minorikawa's face. Sir. Sir, I hate to bother you, but I have to ask you to refrain from smoking. Minorikawa blinked. Huh? This is a non-smoking establishment, sir. No smoking, Norikawa asked. The cigarette bobbed in his mouth as he spoke. The waitress pointed sharply to the sign of the wall. No smoking. The words no smoking were spelled out clear as day. We ask that patrons please not smoke so that other customers can fully enjoy the aroma of their coffee. The waitress drew herself up in arrogant triumph. A woman sitting at the table next made a face as she tried to fan the smoke away with her hands. Customers all around the shop were glaring at him. You guys don't know the first thing about the aroma of coffee, Minorikawa scoffed. The scent of coffee only truly comes to life amidst the choking stench of tobacco smoke. The waitress's only response was to jab her finger again. But this time, she didn't point at the sign. She pointed to the door. Sir, if you're going to smoke, please take it outside. That's what you get for messing with service industry professionals, my dude. Sometime later, sitting inside the cafe Lortrek, Minorikawa lit up his third cigarette. At last, a safe refuge. It had taken him quite some time to find a place that allowed smoking after he got kicked out of the first cafe. In recent years, many cafes and restaurants have phased out the concept of the smoking section in favor of prohibiting smoking across the board. This makes a place like Lautrec especially important to smokers. There are large air vents at the ceiling to help keep the interior more agreeable for those who do not smoke. Actually, come to think of it, when's the last time that... Hey, Viv, since you're... When's the last time you recall going to a place that actually had a smoking section? Because I remember this definitely was a thing while I was growing up. And yet, I could not place to you the last time I was in a place like that.
For me, last time I would say would have had to be 90s. I feel like I have distinct memories of going to pizza places in Texas that had the smoking sections. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember encountering them again after coming up north here.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that I'm sure, like, as a child, I was definitely placed like that, but, like, I could not place to you a memory of it at this point. And I'm sure some of it is different cultural. Like, in Texas, I'm sure it'd be easier to find one than it would be up here in Vermont. Now he was in a rush to make up for lost time. His fingers flew over the keyboard at lightning speed. The more he wrote, the harder he focused. At this rate, he'd have a new story wrapped up in no time. Today, you hear me? A voice intruded suddenly on his awareness. One of the other customers was shouting, You're breaking up with that fellow today! Minorikawa's fingers drifted to a halt. He looked around to see where the voice had come from. An older man, red in the face, was shouting at the young woman who sat across from him. Please, Dad. The woman pleaded, Stop. You're making a scene. Ah, a father and daughter, then. It was rare nowadays to see a father behave so imperiously towards his own daughter. Just how sheltered had he been trying to keep her? Minorikawa couldn't see her face from where he was sitting, but his interest was piqued. Should he move closer to another seat where you should take another look? No, he reminded himself he needed to finish. No, he's got to finish his article. No, he reminded himself that he needed to finish his article. Besides, if this young lady looked anything like her father, he'd just as soon pass. Minorikawa went back to his typing. Wow. Loving it. It took a few minutes to reestablish his writing groove, with the two still bickering across the room, but thankfully he soon regained his focus. What is that? His hands went still as a strange noise intruded on his reverie. Whatever it was close by. What in the world is that sound? I think, is this important enough to get us that? Let's go. I need to get to the bottom of this, or I'll never be able to concentrate. Just where the heck is that sound coming from? He searched his surroundings for a moment and quickly discovered the noise was coming from his own bag. He pulled out one of the most important tools of his trade, a bug detector. I see. An instrument for finding listening devices. Since wireless listening devices emit radio signals, bug detectors are designed to use wide area receivers to reveal their presence. Using a detector to find something in this fashion is known as fox hunting. Why would you keep that with you? Is that... You run into that often? It was on, and it had picked up a signal. To a reporter, information was life. That made owning a bug detector a sensible precaution in his line of work. Sure. Cool. With the device in hand, Minorikawa casually scanned the area. casually. Eventually, he zeroed in on the signal. He stood up. "Everyone, your attention, please," he announced. "Someone has set up a listening device in here." Several cafe patrons turned their heads in disbelief. A woman wreathed in pungent perfume flashed him a disagreeable look. "Oh, is this Osawa's wife? Is this going to be I, then?" "Oh, come on. That is ridiculous," she huffed. "There's something fishy going on." "The only thing fishy right now is you," the woman declared disdainfully. "Why won't you get out of here and let everyone enjoy their meals?" "No. I smell a scoop." "You what?" "You. What's your name?" "None of your business, that's what. Now hurry up and stop that awful noise." The other customers were starting to murmur loudly. "There's a listening device here, folks," Minorikawa said. "How could that not bother you? Do you know where it could be?" "Excuse me," the woman called out. "Could someone please do something about this man?" A waitress hurried over. "Sir, please, you're bothering our other customers." "There is a listening device in here. That is what people should be bothered by right now." The waitress took a reflexive step backward at the words listening device. "You're the one who's intruding on everyone," the woman shouted. "Honestly, could you please stop that racket?" "It's not me making the racket. It's the bug tracker." "Just who the hell do you think you are?" "Police! Somebody call the police." "Sometimes you just got to make sure you aren't being wiretapped. Normal stuff." "Exactly." "Ma'am, please calm down," the waitress said. "There are other customers here and—" "I'll calm down once you get this disrespectful bore out of here." "All I'm doing is sharing the truth. You can't kick me out for that." The waitress wavered, clearly intimidated by both of them. "You've sure got a lot of nerve," the woman snapped at Minorikawa. "Go play detective someplace else." "I'm not a detective. I'm a reporter." "Really now? By far my least favorite profession." "Oh, and why is that? Did someone write a story about you, lady? Got skeletons in your closet?" "You shut your mouth. How dare you?" "Yeah, I smell a scoop here, all right. And the smell is coming from you." "Stop it with your scoop nonsense already." "It's no use trying to hide things from me." "You have no idea what you're talking about." "Oh, yes, I do, lady." "Go to hell." "After you." "Blah, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah." As they shouted over each other, their words blurred together until they were barely words anymore. The onlookers could hear only indistinct, meaningless raving. And still the yelling went on and on and on. Eventually there came the sound of approaching sirens. But even when a police cruiser pulled up outside the cafe, the two didn't slow their bickering. Did we get bad end because we were too busy arguing with I? We did. Is it going to be just don't investigate that? That's going to be the hint, right? Maybe worrying about weird noises can wait. Right now, finishing up that article sounds like a better idea. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what we suspected. All right, let's try that again. Woo! I need to focus on finishing this article. Minorikawa tried to immerse himself in his writing again. Before long, he stopped worrying about the curious sound. I like how the implication is the patrons still have to listen to it. Time passed. Eventually, the pace of his writing slowed down a bit, and Minorikawa glanced at his watch. It was later than he'd thought. Pretty soon, he was going to have to head over to get an interview for the diet drink people. He reached into his bag for the project proposal to double-check the demo location. Huh? The proposal, it's gone. Crap, where the heck did it go? He checked all around the table, but he didn't see it anywhere. Maybe he left it at the other cafe, the non-smoking place? We didn't have time to go back for it now. Still weird that I definitely seems to have some kind of bug on her, huh? His phone rang. What now? Minorikawa snapped as he answered it. A tiny squeak came through the receiver. It was followed by the sound of sniffling sobs. I'm sorry, I just... Chiaki. Was she done with her interviews, maybe? It's no use. People won't stop to talk no matter how hard I try. Her voice broke up into further sobs. Oh, come on. This again? Really? I can't do it. Don't worry about paying me. Just please let me go home. Minorikawa was already operating on a too tight schedule. He didn't have time to worry about Chiaki on top of it all. Look, just slow down and take a breath. Try and keep at it a little longer. You should have seen this coming when he first called her. Her shyness was practically pathological, but if you cut her loose now, all this frustration would only be for nothing. But I can't do it, Chiaki whined again. Please, just forget you ever called me. She hung up before Minorikawa could get another word in. He tried calling her back, but she didn't pick up. Damn it, Chiaki! Don't you dare bail on me! Leaving money for his coffee on the table, Minorikawa jumped up and bolted from the cafe. God, that is one thing that you just can't do anymore in the age of credit cards and credit cards only. You can't just dramatically jump up from the table and leave money right there, leave it, exact change on the table and dash away valiantly to go follow something. What that we could.
Did you never get people who did that anyway in retail?
No, Vivian, I never got people who did that anyway in retail.
Oh, I did a couple times.
Oh, that's...
And it was always super awkward and weird.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
Honey, the stream can't hear your half of the story. I love you, but you can't keep doing this to me. This VOD is going to make me look like I'm talking to myself. The plaza outside Shibuya Station was as crowded as ever. Minorikawa looked around, but there was no sign of Chiaki. She bailed. Minorikawa dropped to his knees in despair. His last hope had up and left. There was no one else he could even ask. Damn it! All right then, fine. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Oh, were you not? Did you not want coffee?
I was expecting water.
Oh, I'll get you water also.
Fine, I'll do it myself. He dragged himself back to his feet. All right, listen up, he shouted at the passing crowd. I'm doing street interviews here starting now. You guys, shut up and help me. I mean, don't shut up, but help me. Oh, poor Hachiko. He wound up blowing way too much time just getting 2 pages worth of content, leaving himself unable to finish the other articles. In the end, the issue of 4-star general gossip never made it to the newsstands, and Heaven Publishing went down for the count. Wow, that's a bleak fucking ending right there with the particular image. How are we supposed to... Aren't there places that don't accept credit cards? That sounds like hell. Yeah, there are. Chiaki calls it quits. That's Chiaki. Minorikawa just couldn't get the gossip finished in time. What made her run off, though? Chiaki shows up in Kano's story at 12:10. One of the decisions there is ultimately what put her over the edge. Okay. So we need to come back and... we need to come back and look at this from a different angle. I guess Kano is the next choice to go to. Oh, thank you, Viv. Kano is the natural choice, so let's, Kano time. God, I will never get tired of this menu. This menu is so damn beautiful. Kano had been watching syndicate members hand off the attaché case for an hour and a half. He still had no idea where this relay might be headed. The man he was tailing now was about 10 meters away, close enough that Kano could close the distance and apprehend him at a moment's notice, but his orders remained the same. Follow and observe. He watched as the case was handed off once more. By now, the shock of seeing it pass to yet another accomplice had worn off. It's already been 90 minutes, huh? It was Sasayama. At some point, he'd crept up on Kano from behind. It's like they don't seem like they're trying to get away at all, Kano said. They're just walking. What could they be up to? Sasayama shrugged. Yeah, it's weird. Kano recalled Dick Dictum, number 89. Dick Dictum, number 89. The more irrelevant something seems, the more relevant it's bound to be. If Tatena's wisdom held true, the syndicate must have had some reason for what it was doing. Were they just trying to throw the investigators off their scent? No, that couldn't be it. They were wandering in circles, staying right in the same area. They were just running up the clock. What if that's exactly what they were after? Buying time. Kano felt a sudden conviction that he was on the right track. If they needed more time to make sure they got their hands on ransom payment. Wait, hold on. Could it be that the real case had already been switched out, or that the ransom money wasn't even in the case anymore? Could it be that the ransom money wasn't even in the case anymore? I've got it! Sasayama perked up. You got what? Each time these crooks hand off the case, they sneak out a bundle of $1,000,000. They keep doing that, and eventually the case itself is empty. Of course, that's how they've been playing us. Kano and Sasayama exchanged a look. How many people would they need to make the switch for them to get all the money? Sasayama asked. 50 million yen divided by 1 million makes it 5 people. That's it then. No, wait, 50 people. That many? That can't be the deal then, Sasayama said. Guess not. They both sighed in unison. We don't see Sasayama in his bulgy disguise at some point in this game. I will riot. I mean, it's got to happen. The man with the attaché case made his way back to Shibuya Station. The heck? Sasayama grumbled. He's right back where we started. Kano felt his frustration growing. It honestly looked like the syndicate was just randomly lugging the case around town. Near Shibuya Station, a girl approached the suspect. Okay, is this going to be Chiaki then? She was Japanese and entirely unlike any of the other criminal accomplices. She spoke to the man while showing him something on her notepad. He glanced at the pad but did not slow down. Within moments, he had left her behind. Looked like she just passed him a message. Well, that's sure fishy, Sasayama muttered. What, the girl? Asked Kano. Yeah. Want to go hit her up? Sasayama could only mean one thing. Questioning her. So, I guess it's the question, like, does questioning her then scare her off from doing this? Because we want to make sure that Chiaki stays on the case for Minorikawa's sake, right? We want to make sure that we don't dissuade her from asking people on the street. So let's try to not... Yeah, let's avoid her. She can't be involved with this, can she? Sasayama flashed him a skeptical look. Don't let your preconceptions get the better of you. It could get you killed. Preconceptions, in case you didn't know, are fixed notions one has about something before the facts are known. They can be a hindrance to thinking freely. If you think about it too hard, you might fall victim to the preconception that preconceptions themselves are always bad. Thank you, tips screen. That was vitally important. Whatever would we have done without that knowledge? I know that, but still, she doesn't come across as involved to me. Connor knew better than to judge people based on appearance, but he was still convinced the girl wasn't part of this gang. She just struck him as far too, well, inept, really. All right, I'll go look into the girl, Sasayama said. You keep following the attaché case. Kano nodded and hurried after the man. The man's black garb made him stand out in the crowd at the intersection. It occurred to Kano that all of the criminals who had handled the attaché case had been wearing the same black clothing. That fact made the whole situation even weirder. Could they really be ignorant that they were being followed while they were all wearing the same eye-catching outfit? It was more like they were going out of their way to make sure the investigators spotted them. That still didn't provide any clues as to what they were after, though. The longer Kano kept tailing these guys, the less sense it all made. Was it really such a good idea to keep this up? Someone's life was in danger, and they were just letting the kidnappers carry out their plan, whatever it was. The very first page of the Dick Diary spelled things loud and clear on that front. Dick Dictum, number 1. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. Right now, the single most important thing was ensuring the hostage's safety. This was a situation where Tateno would have stuck to his guns, for sure. Kano thought back to that day, 3 years ago. Yo! Flashback time! A burglar had shut himself inside a financial office and doused the place in gasoline. Kano had just been put on police box duty and was ordered to the scene because his box was just down the street from the standoff. Police box duty. Nobody is assigned to a detective post right after graduating from the police academy. Detective positions can be quite hard to come by. Candidates are selected for detective training only after accumulating enough experience working at the local police box, a very small type of neighborhood station manned only by a handful of officers. Several officers had surrounded the building, keeping close tabs on the situation. The suspect was shouting nonsense through the entrance on the first floor. Things were getting heated. A crowd of alarmed onlookers had started to form as well. "Step aside," a voice said suddenly amidst the throng. A middle-aged man in a rumpled business suit had approached Kano as he hovered nervously at the edge of the scene. "I'm sorry, sir," Kano said. "You have to stay back for your own safety." He attempted to usher the man back into the crowd. A no-nonsense look crossed the newcomer's face. He spoke in a low voice. "I'm Detective Tateno from the Shibuya precinct. What's the situation?" "Oh, sir, I'm sorry. Yes, of course," Kano stammered and then quickly explained. "He hasn't taken anyone hostage, but there are still people in the upper floors of the building." Giving only a slight nod, Tateno marched straight up to the building. The plastic container of gasoline the suspect had used was on the ground out front. Tateno picked it up and dumped the remaining contents out over his head. Kano was at a loss for words. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. "I've covered myself with gasoline too," Tateno called out from the entryway. The tension in the air ratcheted itself up several notches. "Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing?" Kano heard the burglar shouting from inside. "If you're going to do it, Tateno called out. "We can die together." And he walked into the building. All Kano could do was watch things unfold with the plate glass window. Tateno was talking to the burglar, but Kano couldn't make out the words. The crook was clutching a lighter, his hand trembling. His expression was like that of a frightened child. Tateno slowly approached him and took firm hold of his shaking hand. The onlookers erupted into cheers and applause. Tateno handed the now docile suspect over to the detectives, then wearily sat down against the planter out front. It was like something ripped straight out of a police drama. "That was amazing," Kano breathed. "You have to deal with guys like that as quickly as you can. You let a situation like this get even a little out of hand, and you never know how things might go south on you." Tateno spoke quietly, almost as if he were talking to himself. As the police evacuated the rest of the building, Kano noticed that there were children and elderly people among them. If the perp had managed to set the fire, there was no way they would have escaped in time. "But I mean, what if he'd actually set the place on fire?" "If someone's willing to risk their life, you're not going to convince them of anything unless you do the same." Kano still remembered the awe he'd felt at Tateno's matter-of-fact tone. Kano hadn't become a police officer out of any real sense of duty. He just thought it would make Rumi happy if he became a detective like her father. Besides, civil servants tended to stay afloat in times of recession, and his time playing rugby meant he was in good physical shape for the job. He'd never really thought too much about protecting the citizenry or keeping the peace, but now here he was in the presence of a detective who'd literally risked his life in the line of duty without a second thought. A police officer never loses sight of what he's supposed to protect. Ever. Oh, 2008. Getting back to his feet, Tateno tugged off his gasoline-drenched coat and walked away. Connor wrote the words in a notebook he'd just purchased. Thus, the Dick Diary was born. You know, like Dick, like gumshoe. Like a PI. That kind of a dick. Not the other kind. Don't confuse it. Thinking back to the way Tateno had put his life on the line to rescue a bunch of strangers made Kano feel all the more raw about just tailing these syndicate members. Letting the crooks just wander around wasn't going to bring Maria Osawa to safety. Of that, Kano was now certain. Shoot, it's bleeding pretty bad, he heard someone say behind him. He turned around and saw two young men carrying another along. There was a towel wrapped tightly around the third's head. Hey, what happened? Kano asked. Shut your mouth, Kano blanched. Can the attitude. He's trying to help. Another voice cut in. It was Sasayama. He had finished dealing with the girl by the station then? What happened to your friend? Out of my way, man. I ain't afraid to kick your ass. Look, cut the crap and let me take a quick look. Sasayama unwrapped the towel from around the young man's head. Oh, that's nasty. The young guy was a little more than a kid. His head was soaked red with blood. He appeared to be unconscious. They couldn't just leave him like this, but they were in the middle of a job. They should probably call juvenile affairs. They're in the middle of a job, but they couldn't just leave him like this. They should probably take him to a hospital. TMI, but I saw that there's a BL called Dick Fight Island, and that's just a fun... What? I do know about Dick Fight Island. I have heard about the legendary BL Dick Fight Island. I feel like that's one of the ones that gets tossed around as like one of the memetically like, oh my god, look at how ridiculous this is, and then it's like it's what it says on the tin. It's people fighting with their dicks. If that's what you want, that's exactly what you're gonna get. Let's take him to the hospital. They were in the middle of a job, but they couldn't just leave him like this. They should probably take him to a hospital. Kano offered to help carry the bloodied young man, but Sasayama stepped in front of him. He quickly flashed the two youths his badge. Oh crap, you cop? Sasayama nodded. Who you kids with? The Bamfs? Alright, take your guess on what BAMF is actually going to stand for in this game. Bamfs. Shibuya's #2 gang. Its leader, Sohei Ikari, has gathered up some big mean dudes in an attempt to make Shibuya his turf. The gang's leadership is inferior to that of SOS, but on an individual level, its members tend to be stronger in a fight. Word is that the rise of the Bamfs is one of the reasons SOS has been growing more combative recently. Oh, they don't, okay, so it is just badass motherfuckers. Okay. SOS? SOS, admitted one of the young men after some hesitation. Who attacked you? Yo, it ain't like that. What is it like then? Infighting? The young man was silent. Sasayama must have been right on the mark. In the course of his police duties, Kano picked up a fair amount of street gossip from the young people in Shibuya. Lately, the scuttlebutt about the legendary SOS gang was that they were dealing with some internal strife. I've never heard the word scuttlebutt used twice in such close succession, and now I can't get it out of my head. Scuttlebutt. Scuttlewaddle. Okay, cool. Putting that one in the thing to look up later. Look, don't worry about it. I get it. There's a hospital just down that way. Hurry up and get him there. The young man batted off Sasayama's offered hand, then quickly hauled his friend away. Sounds like SOS is on the verge of breaking up with all this infighting, huh? Kano asked. He kept his eyes on the young men as they headed off. Yeah, it seems like it's been pretty rough. You know, what with the original leader leaving and all. The detectives in juvenile affairs were well acquainted with the SOS's original leader. Is this going to let us jump into Achi's now? No, it won't let us jump over there, okay. That would be Achiendo. Initially, SOS was nothing more than a small group of like-minded young people who hung out together, but as its membership grew, the general public began referring to the group as a gang. Word has it that back when Achi was in charge, gang members never started any conflicts themselves, but simply responded in kind when others brought fights their way. Someone should make another Dick Fight Island, but it's secretly about assholes beating the shit out of each other, PG-13. It was about an island full of private investigators, all trying to get to the bottom of the same scoop. Their stories were like something out of some after-school special. They were tales of them tracking down gangs who sold drugs to kids, or breaking into Yakuza front offices to save their friends. The detectives with juvenile affairs took these stories with a grain of salt, but if there really were young people like that out there, Kano hoped to meet them someday. The detectives had to hurry to catch up with the man they were tailing. He was still strolling along, seemingly in no particular hurry. They kept him in sight as he crossed another pedestrian overpass and circled back around. Still following the same M.O., huh? Sasayama grumbled. Guess so, Kano said. How'd things go with the girl? He was careful not to take his eyes off the mark as they talked. You're right. She's not part of this. Just one of those street evangelists or something. Oh, yeah? Yeah, she kept asking me, but are you really happy with your life? Wigged me out. I bailed out of there real quick. Hopefully that's good enough for her to have counted as an interview, and she'll stick around and keep at it. We'll have to check back in on Minorikawa's story after this. So, Sasayama, I'm thinking the attaché case is going to get handed off again any moment now. Huh? Sasayama appeared at the mark, who was scanning the plaza he'd just entered, apparently looking for someone. I take one side, you take the other, Kano suggested. Sasayama's eyes went wide. Say what now? That way we apprehend both perps involved with the handoff. Sasayama didn't reply. Look, HQ isn't thinking about the hostage's safety, Kano said, but that needs to take priority here. Sasayama's face took on a rare solemnity. Disobeying a direct order is not something to do lightly. Disobeying a direct order. A detective's behavior is governed by the Local Public Service Act. Article 32 states that a detective is to faithfully follow the orders of his superior in the course of his duties. Violating this is punishable by a warning, reduction in pay, suspension from duty, or dismissal. Oh, so that's why Gumshoe's pay keeps getting docked whenever Edgeworth gets mad at him. Got it. In the event of a warning, not only the individual expected to submit a formal letter of apology, but pay raises may be delayed or performance bonuses cut. Then after a moment he added, but I'm on board. I'm sick of all this wandering around anyway. That's the Sasayama I know, Kano replied with a chuckle. Sasayama gave him a silent thumbs up. The two detectives took up position on opposite sides of the plaza. Kano called up Sasayama on his cell phone. You ready? He asked. Just give the word. There were only two non-Japanese people in the nearby crowd. Both were eyeing their surroundings anxiously. Kano was certain the handoff was about to take place, and then... Well. If it isn't Mr. Toyama. Kano's ears perked up at the sound of an aggressive greeting, the voice dripping with feigned cheer. He rolled around to see two rough-looking young men confronting a father and his daughter. The older man looked pained. Please, just hold on, he said placatingly. I thought we agreed on 4 o'clock. The young man snarled. Did you try and play dumb with us, buddy? Oh, shit. It's nothing like that, I swear. My girl was just hungry, so I stepped out to... Yeah, and how come you didn't just order delivery, huh? Yes, right, I suppose that would work, too. Don't you ah-ha-ha me, man. Kano watched the argument uneasily. The stranger's altercation put him in a bit of a spot. The crook he was sailing probably wouldn't risk handing off the case with an uproar like this going on. What's going on over there? Sasayama asked. I'm not sure, Kano replied. Looks like some kind of argument. Suspects are going to get wary on us. It's going to screw up the whole handoff. Yeah, I know. So do something about it and get over here, Sasayama asked. What? Find some way to shut them up and then get over here. Sure, all right. Kano headed toward the argument. He was only halfway there when Sasayama called again. He sounded panicked. Hey, Kano! He made a run for it. Huh? Crap! The man they'd been tailing had vanished in the brief time Kano had taken his eyes off of him. Wait up, Kano shouted. Sasayama was racing after the suspect, and Kano rushed to join him. The man was surprisingly quick, however, and neither detective managed to catch up. In fact, they soon lost sight of him amidst the teeming crowds. Frantically, they dashed through the streets as fast as hard as they could. We lost him, Sasayama admitted at last. Damn it! He stamped his foot on the asphalt in disgust. Director Kuze? Kano gasped over the wireless. I'm sorry, but we lost the man with the attaché case. There was a heavy sigh on the other end of the line. Kano braced himself. He wasn't going to be able to weasel onto this one with just an I'll do better next time. Sasayama, Kano, get your asses back to the precinct. Kuze out. With that, Kuze switched off the line. Back to the precinct. Kano knew full well that what they meant. They were off the case. There was a gnawing in his gut. Those two punks hadn't shown up. No. That father and his daughter hadn't turned up. He might have been able to apprehend the suspect. Got it. So that's going to be how we fix this one. Don't let it get you down, Sasayama said. I mean, paper pushing can be kind of fun. The look on his face, however, suggested he didn't think it was fun at all. Not one bit. With the air of two men heading to an execution, Kano and Sasayama trudged back towards the Shibuya precinct. Bad end. Back to the precinct. So we're going to have to find either way to... So we haven't seen them show up in either of the other routes yet. So we're either going to have to get the two to stop coming, or we're going to have to get the Newsy to not go there. that father-daughter duo hadn't shown up, this wouldn't have happened. A certain someone needs to give those two some better advice, and a certain other someone needs to meet up with them outside his or her house. Both of these are key to changing poor Kano's fate. Okay. Cool. So now let's see whether or not the decision we made here changed what happened with, Oh, shit. No, I don't want to start back in here. Oh, it brought us back here. Oh, okay. It did bring us back here. Let's see. Oh, and it looks like it changed too. So let's see what it says about Chiaki. Okay. Right, here we go. And here's Chiaki. His phone rang. What now? Chiaki? Was she done with her interviews, maybe? It's no use. People won't stop to talk no matter how hard I try. Her voice broke up into further sobs. Look, I've got my own problems to deal with. You're just going to have to find some way to manage. But I can't. Sorry, I'm hanging up now. And so he did. He had to hurry. He had to get to the demo venue. But he'd lost the map and forgotten the location. Think, man, he told himself. Where would they hold an event like this? Probably someplace big, right? Okay, so that did, even though it doesn't seem like it changed things, it did change things. Okay. Now to be a guide or someone out front, too. With these assumptions in mind, Minorikawa broke into a run, searching ahead as he went. He stopped when he caught sight of a particular multi-tenant office building. A whole stream of women were filing inside. All of them looked a little heavy, too. Pay dirt. This had to be the health food company's sales demo. He hurried into the building. The women were queued up down the hallway. This was definitely the place then. More confident by the moment, Minorikawa made his way up the stairs. Finally, he reached the front of the line. There was a notice posted outside the doorway ahead. Minorikawa read it aloud. Auditions for the starring role in Sun TV's Sumo Queen 2. Sumo Queen 2 is a suspense drama about a string of murders that crop up while a group of female sumo wrestlers tour the country. The Maegashira, Komosubi, Sekiwake, and Ozeki, the 5th through 2nd place wrestlers, from both East and West, are all killed in sequence, leaving only the 2 top-ranked Yokozuna. With the real killer still unknown, things come to a heated climax in the ring during the final match, when the loser tearfully confesses to her crimes. It concludes with the victorious wrestler, who'd also been playing the part of the detective, sorrowfully looking at the culprit in the eye and stating, "It's off to the big house with you." It was a sequel series to a recent TV drama featuring full-figured actresses. That's it, Minorikawa exclaimed, a new project proposal springing fully formed into his mind. He felt as if he'd been struck by a bolt of divine inspiration. Big bodies, bigger names. A new arena opens for aspiring plus-size actresses. Never mind the diet drink demo, this was going to be Minorikawa's big story. Minorikawa managed to meet the deadline. The show, however, wound up being a massive flop. Sales of that issue of 4-Star General Gossip were likewise lackluster, with an unprecedented number of copies going unsold. Mr. Toyama's debts continued to spiral out of control. And before long, Heaven Publishing was no more. Frick. Well, shit. Sorry, dude. Man, we keep getting this guy killed in so many different ways. Sumo Show does massive belly flop. Okay, so main problem is that he didn't have good detailed directions to the Burning Hammer demo. Tama could do something at 12:15 that causes Chiri to head that way, cafe, and Chiri can help Minnow. Okay, cool. So that's what we got to do. So that'll be on Tamatron. Something Edgeworth says ACAB by reducing gumshoes pay more and more with each passing inconvenience. I have complicated feelings about that, but yeah, something like that. All right. Let's see. So we could do Tama or Achi. Okay. Actually, you know what? It's a little early because we only went for about 2 hours today, but I think we're going to end it here. Mostly because Vivian and I have an important recording session booked for, just a couple hours from now, and I want to make sure I save some of my voice for that. So, we're going to call it early. Thanks for coming out, everyone. I'll be back on Tuesday with more Toho practice, and we'll do a longer session of Shibuya next time, I promise. I just want to make sure I still have a voice for recording tonight. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. New episode of Umaneko on Monday, and hopefully look forward to it. See you all next week. Bye.